On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 equals can be trusted in all situations, and 1 equals can rarely or never can be trusted. Where would you consider yourself to be? Oh no, I did it again. I trusted her. How could she do this to me? It hurts so much. I'm never gonna trust anyone again in my life. Never ever. Can you relate to this? No one of us is exceptional to feel betrayed at least once in our lifetime. We tend to shut ourselves and live in isolation in order to protect ourselves from the hurt of betrayal, self-blame, or feeling inadequate. And then we promise ourselves we'll never become vulnerable again to anyone in our life. But trust is indispensable. It's necessary to live a wholesome life with love and belonging. We need trust to establish relationship, be it a business or with a partner or even with a colleague. When we trust someone, we feel safe with that person, safe to engage in conversations, share information. We feel safe to even disagree with them. But when we distrust someone, we try to protect ourselves by defending, resisting, judging, and expect worse from them. We genuinely enjoy being trusted and being trustworthy. We inherently don't want to breach anyone's trust. Neuroscientist says, our brain rewards us for being trusted, and we need it to empower us, and we can empower others by trusting them. Most importantly, we need trust to recognize signs of distrust in others. People who tend to distrust or expect worse from others are less capable of recognizing when others are hurt, and as a consequence, they are less willing to repair relationships when trust is broken. Many of us think that trusting someone is an intuition or a feeling, but correctly put, it's a decision we make based on our past experience. People measure our trustworthiness by our actions rather than our intentions. To decide whom to trust and to develop ourselves as a trustworthy person, we should understand what's trust. Charles Feltman, author of the book The Thin Book of Trust, defined trust as choosing to risk making something you value vulnerable to another person's actions. That means you decide that something you value is safe with another person. Distrust is essentially the opposite of trust, in that it is a choice not to make yourself vulnerable to another person's action. It is a general assessment that what is important to me is not safe with this person in this situation or any situation. I recently listened to an audiobook called Braving Wilderness by Brené Brown. I love her work. In that, she explained 7 elements of trust in both trusting others and trusting ourselves. These elements are a checklist to see where you are or where you will put a person in the trustworthy scale. And when we have trust issues, rather than talking in terms of I don't trust you, we can address it by these elements and discuss and correct it. Boundaries. You respect my boundaries, and when you are not clear about what's okay and not okay, you ask. How many of us do this? We usually get offended if someone was clear about their boundaries, aren't we? But if we are not clear about their boundaries, how are we going to respect them? So it's important to be clear about our boundaries as well as others. Reliability. You do what you say and you say what you'll do. You know your competencies and you don't overpromise. The hard thing about this is you are not hustling for worthiness. I am someone who struggles with this. I most of the time overcommit myself because I accept we all want to feel important and competent. But when you overcommit and not delivering what you agreed to, it makes you less reliable. When you are asked to do something, if you are competent enough, do it. Be clear on what you exactly have to do. If you are not clear, ask for clarification. And when you offer something to someone Also, be clear on what you'll do and what you'll not do. As Edgar Watson Howe says, half the promises people say were never kept were never really made. Accountability. You own your mistakes and apologize when needed and make amendments. Acknowledging your mistakes and apologizing is the only antidote for betrayal of someone's trust. And when someone else did the mistake, you hold them accountable in a straightforward way. You don't blame or shame them. Vault. There are two things involved. You are keeping things confidential that I tell you, and you are not sharing things with me that are not yours to share. You might have experienced this. As soon as someone starts sharing someone else's personal life or secrets, although it feels good to hear about it at that moment, you realize that you trust the person less after that, because he or she is not supposed to share it with you. We do this as a bid for connection with someone, but that person will trust us less because we are using stories which are not ours as currencies. Integrity. You choose courage over comfort. Choose what's right over what's fun, fast and easy, and you practice your values. When the person is not aligned with their values, what they profess to others, we will surely gonna trust them less, don't we? It's hard, and we need courage to stay on our values, and sometimes we would have to stand alone for what's right. But that's you being trustworthy to yourself. Non-judgment. I can ask for what I need, and you ask for what you need. We can talk about how we feel without judgment. If one of us needs help, we can ask for it and we can offer it. So many of us great at offering help, but reluctant to ask for it. But according to Brené's research, when we attach judgment to receiving help, we are knowingly or unknowingly attaching judgment to giving help too. Generosity. You extend the most generous interpretation possible to the intentions, words, and actions of others. When something goes wrong, you don't immediately assume it was intentional or that person meant to hurt you. This is so difficult because our mind usually pictures the worst possible scenario, and in the absence of data, we always make up stories. It's not turning a blind eye on someone who wants to hurt you, but you give them the benefit of the doubt, a chance to explain themselves before you launch into your anger. I don't know whether you have experience on this, but I have, and most of the time there's an entirely different story on the other side. So those are the 7 elements of trust. I hope I was clear on each one of them. Although trusting someone else and not shutting ourselves are difficult, we can't live in isolation if we want to enjoy life filled with love and belonging. As Walter Anderson, author of Meant to Be, says, we are never so vulnerable than we trust someone. But paradoxically, if we cannot trust, neither can we find love or joy. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you guys. See you in the next video, and it will be about another important topic, which is belonging.